Hello there, Kay. Thank you so much for choosing me to do a little reading for you today. I've had something a little odd happen as I was getting ready to do your reading. I'm picking up the cards. We're actually going to use 2 decks of cards for you, so I'm going to have double the card clearing time on the video from usual. Let's see. Thank you all the rest of you for stopping by just to check out my reading style. I appreciate that. I hope you to be considered for a reading with you at some point, or for a Reiki session, or also a Reiki master. So I do a lot of long distance Reiki with some really great results if you're interested in some kind of spiritual healing modality or energy healing modality. And for those of you in the local area, I do house clearings, or I do psychic parties where I can either facilitate you and your guests exploring their own psychic abilities, or I can just come in and read for you and your guests. And then last but not least, I also offer an addiction relief service. This is for those people who have decided that they are serious about releasing their addiction and want an extra boost or help in doing that. This is not a complete cure at all, but it is a big help and a big relief as you move forward with walking away from an addiction. I've had great success with that as well. And that can be done long distance too. You don't have to live near me for that to happen. Okay. All right, Miss K, we've got both of your decks cleared here. Clear the decks. Swab the decks. Okay, the first impression that's coming up to me is it's time to do some cleaning up. Clean up and clear out some of the clutter that you have in your life and in your house, so both literally and figuratively. If you clean out the clutter, that'll make room for things that you would be happier to have in your space. That's the first impression that I have for you. I actually read your question earlier. I've already put down cards. Usually I read the question before I put down cards, but so Kay actually wrote, thank you for your guidance. So the question might be how to manifest what I'm trying to manifest with focus on job, or what am I supposed to learn so I can make progress? I am also wondering if the universe is telling me to relocate or something, or what's coming up. So we've got about 4 options for questions here. So I decided that I would let Spirit bring up what Spirit wants to bring up for you, Miss K. Whatever Spirit thinks is most important to talk about is going to be what we talk about here. So we've got the first set of cards down, and Spirit did nudge me. They want me to use 2 decks. So instead of your normal 5 cards, I'm actually putting down 5 from each deck. If you want to do a good reading, you always want to listen to what Spirit has to say. All right, so what do we have coming up here? Coming up here, Miss K. Okay, conflict or inner turmoil is taking away from your happiness. So this is the first idea that's coming up here. So it's going to be important for you to get away from conflict. I feel like this really has more to do with inner turmoil than outer conflict, although outer conflict is there. It's there to a lesser extent. So, you know, obviously you want to get rid of both. What I'm going to be focusing on when I talk about this is more that inner turmoil or the inner conflict. So basically, whenever I see that somebody has inner turmoil or inner conflict, what's happening is then that kind of, when you're manifesting, that can really slow things down, because you're sending a signal out to the universe, okay, I want this thing, and then you're like, I'm not really sure if I want this thing. Maybe I want this, and maybe I can't have them both. Maybe they kind of oppose each other. And so as long as you're sending out that mixed signal of, I don't know if I can have it, but I want it, you're slowing things down. So you want to find a way to get rid of that inner turmoil, a way to work through that. And, the best way to do that is find a different perspective, find a different way to look at this situation than what you're looking at right now, so that you can be in yourself one united front moving forward. Now, looking at the other way that this plays out, because since I couldn't pick one or the other, this tells me that you've got both going on. So there's also conflict coming up with other people, and that's not making you happy. So, this sounds really oversimplistic to say this, but get away from the conflict. If that means that somebody says something that makes you absolutely triggered, then you just be quiet, walk away, punch pillows a few times, and let it go, so that you can have peace, so that you can focus on things that bring you peace instead of things that just make you unhappy. Okay, so that's the first concept that comes up here as advice for you, Miss K. Let's see what else Spirit wants to say. Okay, so Miss K, the next set of cards is talking about that you have tried to hold your ground in some kind of situation, and you're just really tired from trying to hold your ground, and you're sort of you're letting those boundaries or those defenses down now, because I'm really getting the sense you're just worn out from trying to hold your ground. It's been a lot of hard work for you. And the thing that comes up with this is that sometimes it's easier just to let things end quietly or walk away quietly from a situation. You don't have to make a big dramatic statement. Oh, I am so done with this. I'm out of here. No, that might not even be beneficial. It's just a matter of wherever you've been trying to hold your ground and it's been so much work, maybe it's time to just walk away. Just quietly, just walk away. Not a big production, just, this isn't working. I need to leave it and find something that does work and walk away from whatever that situation is. Now, next thing that we have coming up. What is this saying? Right now you're exploring stuff. You're exploring ideas. You're exploring new ways of thinking about things, new ways of doing things, new approaches. And that's a really good thing. And this really is encouraging you to continue the exploring. All those free seminars where you're learning all of this stuff. This is good. And this actually is going to be beneficial for you in the long run. This is because I've got a card that talks about really exploring and how it makes you happy, but also it brings in security. So all of these things that you're learning now, these are going to pay off in the long run. Next thing. La, da, 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 da. Also, I want to go back to that. Also, it's good to explore different ideas about ways that you could earn an income. All right, so that way all your eggs aren't in the same basket is what they're telling me. Can I move on yet? Okay, because I kept wanting to move on and they kept saying stuff. So now they just said, yes, we're done with that one. Okay, so looking at this next idea that's coming up here. All right. So, Ms. K, basically what this is coming through as is when you're doing something where you're blowing your budget, that does not make you happy with you. Like, you get really upset at yourself for doing that. So, try to curb that. Some people kind of, that's kind of their therapy, is like retail therapy. Some people, that's even a saying for them. I'm not sure if that's exactly what's going on, or if there's like things that you could be doing to bring in money that you're not doing, but there's something that's happening with your budget where, it could be moving forward, but you're not taking the appropriate action, or else You're blowing what you have, and it makes you upset with yourself. So try to catch that before it happens and realize, wait a second, I'm going to have regrets about that if I do this. So how about if I don't put myself in that position? And that's easier said than done. That takes a little practice to catch it ahead of time. Next thing we have coming up, last idea that we have here for you, my dear. This is kind of interesting. This is almost contradictory. Okay, so this is talking about when you're feeling confused about something, take action anyway. Do something. Don't just sit around trying to think it, and think about it, and think about it, and think about it, and think about it. Do something. Don't let that indecision paralyze you. Don't let that indecision paralyze you. Just do something. When you can't decide which thing to do, just pick one. Even if you just have to flip a coin to pick one. Just so that you're doing something. Don't let indecision put you in a paralyzed position. Okay? So there you have it, my dear. I hope that you find it helpful, and I hope that this stuff kind of talks to you about the questions that you asked. I did not have any of my cards coming up here that talk about a geographic move. There's a certain card that would come up if that came up. So all this stuff that Spirit is speaking about, I don't think any of it has to do with a move or a relocation. And I think you're doing good. Some of this stuff I know you're already doing anyway. All right, my dear. Thank you.